Well, like almost all journalists, I've had my share of hate messages, letters, emails over the last 40 plus years, but every once in a while, there's a message you can't ignore. A few years ago, my friend and coworker Ken Boddie received a letter that was so vile and ugly, he chose not to ignore it. He and I sat down and talked about it in an effort to shed light on hate. A look back on shining a light on darkness in tonight's Jeff's Journal. The letter addressed to Ken Boddie at KOIN TV was written over a printout with a picture of Ken. Scrawled across the paper in black ink are the words, "Saw your face, noon Friday news. You had a big smile saying Trump losing. Well, you black, ugly N-word. You need to be wrapped in chains and hung by your ugly black B-word. You ugly Democrat A-word." It is signed with a smiley face. Ken, when you first opened that letter, what went through your mind as you started to read it?
It wasn't surprise, it wasn't shock, it wasn't fear. My main thought was I was sad that somebody would have that kind of hate in their heart and take the time to send a letter like that to somebody in the public eye.
The letter is so blatantly threatening and so blatantly racist. I mean, when you read it, it takes your breath away.
It did for a lot of other people. It didn't take my breath away because it didn't surprise me. I know that there's that element of people out there, and it's not the majority of people. I know that. However, there's always been this segment of society that holds these racist views. And being in a place like Oregon, which is majority white, you expect to encounter those people every now and then.
Do you think racism right now is being accelerated by our current political climate?
I think our political discourse now allows people to feel comfortable in expressing those views. I don't think that they have been amplified any more than they have been in the past in terms of how people actually feel. But I think they are amplified in the sense that people feel more comfortable in expressing those. And I think that there's a lot of polarization. There's a lot of making people who disagree with you or who are not part of your circle the enemy without making any attempt to try to have discourse. So I think that's a sad state of affairs where we are now.
If the person who wrote that letter was sitting right here on the couch next to us, right next to you, what would you tell that person if you had the chance?
Well, I would try to assess as much as I could in an individual conversation whether this person had mental health issues, and I would advise them to go get help. If not, then I would say you need to know Black people. You need to know people of other races because we're all the same. Everybody has the same type of aspirations. They want to have a good family life. They want to be able to provide for their family. They want their kids to grow up in a better environment. That's universal humanity. And I think once we tie into the humanity of everyone, then the world will definitely be a better place.
That interview with Ken was recognized with a regional news Emmy for dealing with racist hate in a straightforward and frank manner. And later this month, Ken and I sit down for an hour-long conversation about our careers and news stories that have spanned a combined 80 years together. Plus, we got together at Huber's, Portland's oldest restaurant, two classic news people meeting in a classic Portland location. Look for that hour-long news special later this month. And then on Wednesday, Jeff's Journal looks back on my incredible Greyhound bus trip across America. It was the year 2000. I hopped on a bus here in Portland, traveling 3,800 miles across America, meeting people, visiting places, getting a pulse on the country and people as we headed into a new century. My bus trip across America on Wednesday's Jeff Journal. Back to the Ken story. It was incredible how Ken opened up about that letter. And we just had both decided, let's shed light on this. Let's shed light on the ugliness. And you have to do that these days.
Yeah,
you know?
it's still is a story, though. I think this was about 4 or 5 years ago, and I remember when this happened, and you two sat down and had that chat, and it's just like those who awarded that Emmy to you. It was very frank, straightforward discussion that many of us learned a few things, but also saw some things that we could relate to, which is like we're not so different. We can just sit down and see how much we have in common, but there is hatred that still does exist.
And you see in that interview what an incredible person Ken Boddie is, and
Yeah.
how much I admire him and respect him, and was so privileged to work beside him all these years.
Yeah, for him to open up was just really, really something great, and that you were able to have that conversation with him. And we are all looking forward to that conversation at Huber's. That's going to be really great as well.